Hey, Paul. So yeah, I got the test results back from the doctor.
Sorry, I was on my phone.
Yeah, you were. My God, Paul. Paul, I'm here. I'm here in front of your face, and I want to connect with my best friend.
Okay, great. Yeah.
You are constantly consumed by screens and devices, and I just crave that face-to-face engagement with you.
All right. What could we do about this?
I think the only thing we have left to do is get unique tabletop games that help create those perfect memories delivered right to our door.
Oh, you mean Gamebox Monthly?
Yes, GameboxMonthly.com.
Rediscover social.
To this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Hey, it's time for another episode of Myth Understood. Today I'm here, of course, with Sarah once again.
It's your girl.
Yes, it's my girl, Sarah. And we are also joined by our good friend. She is a comedian. She is an actress. You may have seen her on an episode of Veep or some other things that she has done. Her name is Katie Foster, and we're very happy that she's here joining us today.
Golf claps.
Hey guys, this is super fun.
What did I miss out? I sort of got overwhelmed with all the things that you have done.
No, nothing. I've never acted before, but I have, such a high interest in it.
Oh yeah, don't we all?
She's
I have an interest in
TV.
I have an interest in paying my rent every month with acting.
That's not true. She's a very funny person, and you can see her.
I was in 2015's Funniest Commercials, which is kind of hilarious.
Shit, what commercial?
It was an Oscar Mayer spot where it was a bacon dating app. And I instead of swiping guys on a dating app, I swiped guys out of my lap. It was I don't know. It sounds kind of sultry, but it wasn't.
It does.
I'm gonna Google that later. And then you're on Teams. Where can people see you if they're here in Los Angeles?
Ooh, I'm on a great team called the Colin Kaepernicks, all about what's going on in the world today. A 30-person improv team. We perform. I think actually we're performing next Sunday.
Just 30 people, huh?
Yeah, only 30, all on stage together.
New
Not
team.
enough for me.
Not enough.
I'd like to see. Have you guys ever done a show in the loft at IO? It's a very small space.
No, we haven't. Only Inner Sanctum, or only big spaces.
Okay.
That's funny.
What sort of experience do you have with Greek mythology? Do you remember it fondly in school, or?
I really love the movie Hercules.
The Disney movie?
Yeah.
It seems
Tate
to be
Donovan's amazing.
It's a recurring
Is that who
thread.
plays Hercules?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's Tate Donovan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just look around sometimes and I spoke with Tate Donovan one time.
Really?
Yeah. Anyways, so the Hercules, and also me and my friend Kyle Meikle growing up.
Shout out to Kyle Meikle.
Yeah, Kyle Meikle, my
Kyle Meikle, it's your girl.
first grade best friend. And his pen name was Kyle Kipling, like Rudyard Kipling. And mine was Catherine Christian Anderson, like Hans Christian, because I loved The Little Mermaid. And we would get really into Medusa. And
what do you mean by getting really
into it?
we I remember finding I was in first grade and I found some old book about Greek mythology in my parents' bookcase that was an adult book. It was, not an adult quote unquote book, but
we're learning that all Greek mythology is very adult.
It's all extremely graphic.
Probably. I mean, we poured through it, and
First
no
grade?
Pictures. Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I was at your reading level.
Nerd alert. I was reading The Hobbit and stuff in first grade.
Wow.
I was into it.
Humble brag.
Hashtag.
Well, we just talked about Medusa in our last episode. When we talked about Perseus and his slaying of Medusa. Does that sound familiar to you?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
I feel bad for Medusa.
I dressed up as Medusa for Halloween, I think, in first or second grade.
Oh, cool.
Which is kind of crazy.
You were a cool kid.
Did you wear a headband of snakes?
Yeah, I had my grandmother in Fiddletown, California, made a headband of snakes for me.
Here's what you need to do. You need to find that picture so we can put it on our Instagram.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know. You know, back in the day when they didn't take pictures of literally everything.
Well, you need to find an oil painting from when you were in first grade.
1992.
Yeah, a little known fact about Katie Foster: she was born in the 16th century.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a vampire. You know.
well, that's a pretty good segue because with vampire, because as we are approaching upon Halloween, I thought it would be cool to talk about today. Two of the witches of Greek mythology. And these witches are, one is known specifically as the goddess of witchcraft and sorcery, Hecate, and the other one isn't typically announced as a witch in Greek mythology, but she is associated with curses, and this is Nemesis. So some dark
They
ladies.
named her appropriately.
Yeah, well, or her name created the word in reverse. So, but yeah, some dark ladies, some Melisandres for our Game of Thrones fans. So we're just gonna sort of dive in and talk about Hecate a little bit. Hecate is the daughter of the Titans Perseus and Astrea. She is the Greek goddess of magic, sorcery, witchcraft, crossroads, trivial knowledge, ghosts, necromancy, and mist.
So does she get to live on Olympus?
She does, yeah.
Wait, but she's not one of the main crew, right?
No, she's a daughter of because the Olympian gods are in the lineage of Cronus and Rhea.
Oh, okay.
She is the daughter of
she's a
other
cousin.
other Titans.
Oh,
And
I got it.
she was regarded as a spectral being who at night sent from the lower worlds all kinds of demons and terrible phantoms.
Wait, what were her powers again?
Oh, she's the goddess of, and not necessarily had the powers of, but sure. Magic, sorcery, witchcraft,
Okay.
crossroads, trivial knowledge, ghosts, necromancy, and mist.
That's why I had to ask, because that's a lot.
It is.
I feel like when you're describing it, it's almost like when people describe saints. They're like, oh, it's the saint of transportation safety or whatever.
That's exactly the same thing, yeah.
So interesting.
I
want to be like this. I want to have a descriptor like that. Be like Katie Foster, the saint of stupid jokes on podcasts.
Great, yeah.
You need Twitter bio.
I mean, you got to get cracking on it. I mean, I want to hear them stupid jokes.
Oh, yeah.
She was regarded as a spectral being who sent from Hades,
Meaning she's kind of ghosty?
sort of ghosty, yeah, demons and terrible phantoms. And those demons and terrible phantoms would teach sorcery and witchcraft to people who dwelled near crossroads, because crossroads were considered to be a very spiritual place specifically for Hecate.
Is that where that phrase, the crossroads of your life or something comes from?
I think that her association with the crossroads has placed in our history and in our modern consciousness the power of the crossroads.
So she'd be like sipping a coffee at Sunset Junction.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. She also hung out near tombs and near the blood of murdered persons.
How did she get to be who she is, though? They just say like she's born creepy.
She's I mean, I'll get to that. I'm describing more of those things. Yeah.
Okay.
She herself too wanders about, sort of wafts about with the souls of the dead, and her approach is announced by the whining and howling of dogs. So pretty creepy lady. But what's interesting is that she's also sort of accompanied always by her own like stark black dog, who would be always, if dogs howl to announce her, don't you think her dog would always be howling next to her? Or do you think it would be like more like, like, oh, sorry, my dog loves everyone except or hates everyone except for me, like she and her dog.
Her dog?
Yeah.
Does the dog have a name?
Yeah. I need more information about her dog.
Is it a ghost also, or a god?
It's
A god dog.
It's sort of like I don't know, like Athena's always seen with an owl. It's sort of like her. It's her spiritual animal. This dog is just with her.
Ooh.
So
She's probably always got treats on her person then.
she probably does. Yeah. So the dogs howled her arrival, I think because they liked her. I don't know.
Mm.
Shrines to Hecate were placed at doorways in both homes and cities with the belief that it would protect them from restless dead and other spirits. Sort of like, hey, like, I love Hecate. Stay away with your creepy shit, though. I don't know what's the equivalent of that. Like
a Trump sign in your front yard
to keep Trump away, though. Like that's sort of the idea here.
No, it's to keep the people with the tiki torches away, right? Because Trump would be the idol that you're saying. I celebrate Trump, and then so the tiki torch people would be the ghosts.
I'm still trying to work on this here. Like it's sort of, I think it would be like putting out like say you didn't like roaches, and so you put like roach food like outside of your house to like attract them outside of your house so that they weren't inside your house. I feel like that's sort of the idea.
I mean, we could go back and forth.
It's like hitting on someone's friend when you actually like the other guy.
Hey,
I know. To like make him like you more.
I'm actually really glad you said that because I was writing a script just recently where I was trying to explain that behavior to the directors, and they didn't understand why anyone would do that.
Were they guys or girls?
They're guys.
Do guys not do that? No, guys kind of do
They
that.
do. They just didn't get it. They were like,
they're old men though. They were like
he was like,
Tennessee.
Normally people say what they mean. I was like, nope. I don't. Where are you from?
No, not Los Angeles.
So this is sort of the interesting thing about Hecate is that she was she's very mysterious. There's not a lot known about her and her mythology. All that's known is that she had a great cult behind her, and that cult existed for centuries and sort of still kind of lingers today.
So she's the Ronald Reagan of
bringing it back. She sort of it's theorized that she was co-opted actually from earlier religions, and that's why she was sort of brought into the fold, because there are these earlier records of her having a counterpart in Egyptian mythology, and that and that's why it seems that at times it sort of seems that she's just like shoved into mythology and sort of only exists in like the earlier myths, and then sort of disappears, and like a lot of those roles are taken over by Selene and Artemis, other goddesses of the moon. But today, if you go to the area of I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just going to say Lagina because
can't be the way to say it at all.
It's Lagina. There's I
was doing that this morning. I'm just kidding.
There's a great shrine to Hecate in Lagina.
Lagina.
But there are festivals to her to this day because there's this giant shrine to her there, and this region is in southwestern Turkey. So that's sort of because where am I going with this? Oh, so because she may have this other history with other religions, it can explain why she is associated with all these creepy things, because that's sort of something that we do as humans, is like when there's something alien or foreign shown to us, we have a tendency to demonize it. And so, we have the Egyptians who are known for putting body parts in jars and doing these rituals that seem foreign to the Greeks. And if she's brought over from these other pagan ritual, like as the chief goddess of pagan rituals, such as like there aren't any other spirits that deal with necromancy really specifically, except for Hecate. Like this is what she brings to the Greek pantheon, and it seems very foreign. But further, I also think that she sort of represents an earlier time. We talked about this a little bit. And Katie, as someone who's not listened to this podcast, I assume.
I didn't know.
We talked about how in early Greece with the Cretans, their history has a history of male and female equality more so than the rest of classical Greek mythology.
Wow.
And so I think of Hecate as being sort of these two witches that we're talking about today. She is like the witch that represents like the old ways, the matriarchy, and then Nemesis is totally a servant to the patriarchy of classical Greek mythology. So this is my theory, and I didn't even read this. This is just something I sort of came up with as I was reading about it. So I would love for you to decide if this is an okay theory moving forward.
And Nemesis is female.
Nemesis is also female.
Yeah.
So here's a story about Hecate. When she the stories state that when Hecate arrived at Olympus, she arrived to help Zeus with the Gigantomachia, which
Is that a coffee drink?
it is. It's a caramel Gigantomachia, and she was a Titaness, and she wasn't involved in the Titanomachy, which is the great conflict between the Olympian gods and the Titans. But it was followed up with the Gigantomachia. So she arrives on Olympus, and mighty Zeus was so impressed by her power that
he fucked her.
That he dared not lay a finger on her.
Whoa.
So this is sort of the presence that she carries with her. And as and thanking her for not being involved in the Titanomachy because she does wield such great power.
Is that another coffee drink?
He shared with her all of his privileged powers of unlimited creation.
Wow.
So there's no other god or goddess in the pantheon aside from Zeus that can manipulate the world as much as Hecate can.
But then at some point, did you say Hecate stopped existing in the mythology?
She did sort of, as sort of, and that goes with my theory of like as more classically male-dominated Greek myths became pervasive. I think that her power diminished and she sort of disappeared.
Like
more.
We don't need her. We have a Zeus.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, Sarah's been through the weeds with Zeus.
I've
Is he a
been
jerk?
done with him. Oh, he's turning into animals. He's raping everyone.
Oh no!
Oh, he's
I thought I was
terrible.
gonna like name my child Zeus, but maybe I
you
won't.
You better not.
Unless you
What
want him
a-
to turn into a duck and screw a lady.
Yeah. What a.
Yeah.
He's
That sounds like my exes.
he's a fucktard. I hate him. So wait. Also, he's like, oh, this Hecate is pretty cool. No, I think that he was like, I'm not gonna fuck her because she's a ghost. She's a ghost thing.
Maybe. I mean, he's
Also, was she gay?
Probably. Wait. Where
did that come from?
Like he dared not touch her. Like
Yeah.
it seems like that's like, oh yeah, she didn't want him, so it's like, oh, I totally didn't want her.
Yeah. She wasn't into him.
Well,
Which doesn't matter with him, but
let's see. I am great Zeus. Welcome to my mountain kingdom. Thank you, Titaness Hecate, for coming here and wafting into my grounds.
why are you trying to shake my hand? You can't touch me. I'm a ghost thing.
Whoa, that's creepy. I guess I dare not lay a finger on you because I physically cannot.
Well, that settles that. Also, maybe I'm gay.
But if anyone asks, it's because like I totally respect you and like want to share my power with you.
Give it to me. I'm a creepy ghost lady.
All right, here we go. Here it goes. Hey, Hera.
Hey, what up?
Can you?
Hey, babe.
Right next to you,
Yeah.
is this box that like contains all of my earthly powers.
Is it Pandora's box?
No.
Oh, okay.
I remember we did some other bullshit with that. But here, hand me that box.
Yeah, got it.
Great. You don't get to do this. I'm handing this to this brand new woman who has just entered this kingdom. She gets to use all this power.
Jigga, what?
Yeah. So that's pretty much how it went down. I think we handled that well.
Was Hera pissed off about that?
Of course she was. All Hera wants is power.
And she doesn't get it?
No,
Never?
not really.
Why?
She sort of always
She's just like the wife?
yeah.
He gives her a cow, but ends up being one of his girlfriends.
Yeah.
She immaculately conceives Hephaestus, god of the forge, and
You know
then-
how women are spiteful like that.
and then and then Zeus like throws him across the world. So it's
Some
good stuff.
things never change.
Yeah.
So the Gigantomachia occurred after. You really love that name.
I do.
When Zeus defeated the Titans. Guess who was annoyed when Zeus defeated the Titans?
Oh, Hades.
Not Hades. You've been
Hera.
shaped by your
Hercules.
love of Disney's Hercules.
It's mostly the gospel songs in it. That's
Oh,
my
yeah,
favorite
they're-
part of the whole
No, we
thing.
love the muses.
Um,
Zero.
but Sarah, you remember Meddlesome Gaia?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The mom who is just literally never satisfied.
yeah. So she sought revenge for them defeating the Titans, which she asked them to do in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And sent forth the giants. They were enormous monsters with 1,000 hands, snakes for legs, and sometimes maybe snakes for feet.
Wait. 1,000 hands?
1,000 hands.
How many arms?
Only one. And she told them, according to Ovid, take arms against the great gods. And so the giants, and you might remember this too. So Cronus got his dick chopped off.
Oh,
And
we don't know if it's dick and balls.
it might be just balls, might be dick and balls. But he, the blood from his castrated organs fell upon the earth, and when they fell upon the earth, Gaia brought forth these giants. So that's how they came into existence to begin with.
And Aphrodite is his sperm
Yes.
What?
in the ocean.
Again,
This is crazy.
you probably don't remember reading all this when you wanted to be Medea for.
Yeah. Medusa. Yeah.
Oh, Medusa. Didn't,
Medea. Just killing everyone.
this happens to me too. Like I did this in an episode where I said Midas when I meant Minos. Like there are a lot of similar names in Greek mythology.
They're looking down at us from above and are like, everyone's named Matt down there.
It's true.
Wait, is this a belief you have that the
Yeah.
Greek gods are still looking down at us from above?
Yeah.
She thinks they're real.
Okay, this is great.
0, 0.
She thinks the Disney version of them are
Hero.
So the giants with their 1,000 hands threw rocks and burning oak trees up at Mount Olympus as they clambered up towards the mountain. And
Wait. They climbed and they found this shit and threw it?
yeah, this is how giants with 1,000 hands fight. And there were a lot of them. The fiercest among them were Porphyrion and Alcyonius, and they were so terrible that they caused Hephaestus to faint when he saw them. So this was the same guy I was telling you that got thrown across the world by Zeus. He sees these giants clambering up the mountain, throwing oak trees, and he just goes and faints on the
Who's
battlefield.
the actor that plays Buster Bluth? I see him playing Hephaestus in the movie.
Yeah. So when he faints, he's then rescued by the all-seeing god, the sun god Helios, who picks him up and carries him away in his chariot. And the gods needed help in this fight. And so Hecate goes up to her tower. She, of course, as a witch, builds a witch tower on Mount Olympus. She starts working on potions and brews.
Bruise.
Yeah, some brewskis.
Some craft beer.
Because there was a great oracle who there's always an oracle involved that prophesied how they would defeat the Titans, and so Hecate was trying to figure out how to summon this oracle, how to figure out what it is they needed to defeat these giants. So double, toil and trouble. It is I, Hecate. Oracle, please come to me. We need help defeating these giants.
What up, bitches?
Hey, Oracle.
What up?
Tis I, Hecate.
I see everything.
You do. Well, I mean, there. Past and future.
Am I doing this right?
Yeah, you're doing great.
I'm an oracle.
All right, so we're having a lot of trouble with these giants that are storming our palace.
Girl, I have trouble with giants all the time.
Well, can you do me a solid and help me figure out how to defeat them? Because it's I heard you say that like no god will be able to defeat them alone. What does that mean?
That Basically, it's a lot like that. No god will be able to defeat them on their own. Like, you'll need more than one.
You'll need more than one god. Okay. Do you think it might mean that we might need like a mortal to help us?
Like Hercules?
Yes.
0, 0.
That's a great idea. And that's honestly the truth is that so
What?
excellent guess. They summon the help of Hercules, who we have not talked about yet on this podcast,
Ugh, my
to
dream
help
man.
them defeat these giants. And here's what's
Tate Donovan himself.
and Sarah and I talk about this a lot, is that there's no I just got that took me a while. There's no chronology really to Greek mythology that makes a whole lot of sense, because if they are summoning Hercules right after their battle with the Titans, have humans been created yet? Like, what is the time frame here? But regardless, they summon Hercules to help them with the Gigantomachy. You still love that word. And so with Hercules' help in the fight, they do end up defeating the giants. One thing that is worth noting, though, is that there are a lot of giants, and each one is specifically designed to prevail against a certain god of Olympus. And for some reason, that also means that there's one for Hecate, even though she is not an Olympian god. And this god, we're just on a tangent here. I mean, I already said Legina. This this god's name, or this giant's name, was Clytius.
Nice.
And he was the Hecate's counterpart. And so he storms Hecate's tower. I am Clytius, here to destroy you, Hecate. You think you can face me?
Yeah, I'm a witch.
What are you gonna do? You don't have any weapons. You're not like the other gods. I am invulnerable to your magics.
But I'm a ghosty thing, and I can always find the clitoris. What's your name?
Clytius.
Clytius.
I hope that's not very nice of you to. I've been bullied as a child. So she defeats him by lowering his self-esteem. No, she.
Also, she had endless power, right? She had all the
She
power.
does have endless power, but she heard that, hey, her particular magics and spells cannot harm him. But her tower is full of torches. And so she picks up 2 torches, wields them like spears, and jabs them into his chest and incinerates him. And that's how she defeats Clytius.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah. And here,
you could have guessed that.
For your
Sarah.
for your viewing pleasure, is art on the side of a pot of Hecate burning Clytius with her hot torches.
Now she's a hero.
And again, if you're just listening now, you might think that this is a porn podcast. Are there porn podcasts? I'm sure there's porn podcasts.
Porncasts?
Yeah, I think they just shorten it to that. So as I mentioned before, the cults of Hecate lingered long after the fall of the Olympian gods, so much so that she became in early rising of Christianity, she became specifically targeted as evil by the Christians, and that if you are worshiping Hecate at your pagan shrines, she is a false prophet, a god of the devil, and they emphasized the dark side of her nature because she did do good things in Greek mythology. She helped. You might remember when we were talking about Demeter and Persephone. She helped Demeter find Persephone. She is this all-seeing, nurturing goddess, but they sort of only emphasize the creepy, witchy stuff.
Is that where like the word hex came from?
Yes.
And isn't there a word like Hecate or something is like a bad person? I feel like that's like an old SAT word. Or
Maybe.
Never met a nice Hector.
Mm-hmm. You haven't?
Oh, I know one.
Oh, I'm
I know
kidding.
it too.
I know a good Hector.
Yeah. I don't. I hope he listens.
He's gonna put a hex on you.
So yeah, they sort of classically portrayed Hecate as an evil figure who was the queen of witches. And as actresses, you are probably familiar with Shakespeare, familiar with Macbeth. She was very predominantly featured in Macbeth as the patron goddess of the 3 witches.
Oh yeah.
And she sort of famously is summoned Act 3, Scene 5, and says one of the most famous lines in Macbeth, which is the last two of this couplet, which is, "All spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. You all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy." And by that she means overconfidence is man's greatest enemy. And then they sing a song, and then she says my favorite line, which isn't famous, is, "Hark, I am called, my little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me." And I hope she says it just like that.
Sassy.
You booked it.
I booked it. Yeah.
it.
Cast the production.
Podcast.
So that's about it when it comes to Hecate. There's not a whole bunch about her, but
Well, most important thing you can ask about a god woman, was she a virgin?
she
Goddess, I guess.
it's some people
It's god woman.
some authors declared that, but I do feel like Hecate, as representing what she represented, was not. Like I just cannot believe that. I think and I think it's the same thing. Maybe that's just too much personal opinion, but they're,
But they say she was.
certain scholars declare her as such because
But
she
this
was
is like a whole
Isn't she
thing.
imaginary? Like not real.
well, but
Or maybe she's real. I don't
She's
know.
real. Oh, she's real.
I think that there's sort of a reclaiming of Greek mythology with like the works of Sappho and female theogons that sort of we have these virgin goddesses, but they sort of only appear to be virgin goddesses in Greek mythology due to their chastity involving men. And I think that
Interesting.
Hecate was likely banging a lot of ladies.
Okay.
So I was right. She's gay.
Yeah, there we go. Theory ready to go.
This is like a thing from every podcast, every female, every goddess, this new word she introduced to me.
Goddess.
Is either like forced to be like a virgin or they're punished for having sex
Mhm.
It sounds like America.
destroyed. Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to Nemesis.
Ooh.
And Nemesis was
Whose nemesis was Nemesis?
mankind.
Oh. So she
Oh,
sounds like
shit.
she fucks.
She does. Nemesis was daughter of Night. She
Wow.
was Night, also known as Nyx. She was the goddess of indignation against and retribution for evil deeds and undeserved good fortune.
Well, come again. She was the goddess of undeserved fortune and
Goddess of like vengeance upon or retribution for evil deeds and undeserved good fortune. So
What?
if your life is going too well, she will bring you back to earth. If you did something bad, she will also punish you.
Like Schadenfreude or something. It's
Yeah.
All German words.
She was always put in check, however, by Tyche, who was goddess of fortune, who did want people to have good fortune. Her name in Greek derives from she who distributes or deals out. So that's when you think of the word nemesis, it has completely different connotations in modern times, but
Yeah.
we have that. She also was an avenger of evil, according to people, but I think that I'm going to tell you a story that is going to make you think like, she just seems evil. And she bared in her hand a scourge or a sword, a whip made of snakes,
that's pretty cool.
a wheel of justice.
Wait, why so many snakes?
And she there's a lot of
Oh, they
snakes.
love snakes.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
snakes in
weird.
Greece, so I think that's sort of where a lot of their imagery came from.
If it were America, it'd be lots of squirrels and like deer. Like,
You
all
are
these
absolutely
bits.
right.
A rod of squirrels.
But she was also seated in a chariot drawn by griffins, which
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Okay, so she's got some cool shit. She's got cool gear.
she's ready to go. You might remember the myth of Narcissus. She's sort of classically invoked in that myth by the male lover of Narcissus, who Narcissus spurned the love of. And so her name was invoked in order to curse Narcissus to stare into a pool of water forever and fall in love with himself and waste away. So that was one of the things that she did. And you might think that's cruel or not, but that's neither here nor there because we're going to talk about new things that she did. The impious king Erysichthon. Erysichthon.
It's probably labia with this episode.
It's Erysikhthon. Erysichthon. Erysichthon. He wanted to build himself a grand banquet hall. And so he decided, you know what's in my way is this giant grove of trees that are sacred to the goddess Demeter.
Oh, well, this is going to be a bad idea.
Yeah. So he's just like, all right, boys, time to chop down these trees. We're going to chop them down. And the first very chop of one of her holy trees, Demeter is like poison ivy, like clutching over in pain, like, oh, I feel my plants are in pain. And she comes down and says to I can't say his name, Erysichthon. Hey, Erysichthon, it is I, Demeter. What the hell are you doing? This is my sacred grove.
I'm gonna have a barbecue, gonna have a couple friends over, gonna need to clear the shit out. I'm putting a pool in.
Hey, well, I'm a goddess, and so I will, enact vengeance upon you if you do this.
Nah, come on. You're invited too. It's gonna go down on Monday. Just bring a 6-pack and
right.
Get in the pool.
I will pencil that in. So she leaves after giving him her warning, and she after he's like, he sort of humors her, and when right after she leaves, he says, I believe this is according to another. I don't think this is Hesiod. It's another guy, but he says, "Vie back, lest I fix my great axe in thy flesh." Like after she leaves, he like threatens her, like, "Hey."
Oh, it's like when you mumble something under your breath that
he's
you
like,
wish you
I had
said
the
to their
perfect
face.
comeback. He's like, basically, he says like, "Hey, stay back, goddess. Otherwise, I'll chop you with my human axe."
You better go back up to Olympus.
And
stab you
Nemesis is watching this happening, and so she
with popcorn.
and she's like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." And so she goes to Demeter, and she's like, "Hey, Demeter, it's Nemesis. That guy, Eric." I can't say his name either. He says he's gonna chop down your grove anyway. What do you think about that, Demeter?
Oh, I don't love it.
You don't love it? Would you like to invoke me in your name?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, well, here's the deal. He already chopped down your entire grove.
What?
And he built a banquet hall.
What?
But I'm goddess of vengeance.
Oh, yeah, totally. Use that skill.
I will retroactively sort of come up with a punishment for him that's like really on the nose.
Please.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
Wait, guys. Hey, it's me, Aphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
Can we wait until after the pool party? Because it did sound pretty cool.
All right, go to the pool party, Aphrodite.
Okay, thank you.
You look great in that bikini, by the way.
No.
Anyway, but I'm going to curse him, and I'm going to curse this king with insatiable hunger. And so he has this banquet hall full of food,
gross.
And he just like eats and eats himself to death. I don't know if you've ever seen Seven, but I imagine it to be like that.
Yeah.
Was that a spoiler?
Gross.
Spoiler, Sarah.
Fuck.
And so that's one of her acts of vengeance that she enacts. This next one, I think you guys are going to hate because I read it today and I had never read it before, and I thought that it was cruel and unusual. So Sarah and I are part of this performing children's theater group. In that group, I portray an assassin.
Oh.
And
for children.
Yeah.
For children. And in reading about assassins and their lore and their history, there's this thing that many assassins believe, and it is that they are not a killer. They are an extension of the blade. They are the weapon. And it is the way that they likely as humans are absolve themselves of the atrocities that they commit, that they think like, hey, you hired me to do this job. I do the job. You're the one who killed this person.
Wow.
I'm just the tool.
Yeah.
And Sarah, I brought up this concept to Sarah before, and you think that this is ridiculous because humans have consciences, and so that's a bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
And in some ways, Nemesis could be related to this because she is enacting revenge on people and enacting out horrible acts. However, what she does in this story, I feel like is like so above and beyond what she needs to do that like she clearly enjoys enacting acts of cruelty. I don't think I don't think that's her philosophy. I'm like, well, you asked me to do a job. I'm going to do it so well.
But like, aren't all of the gods, don't they feel super rewarded when they act out whatever their power is?
I think so.
Their bullshit. Like, you know, when Cup Girl's holding the cup, isn't she like, man,
Good old,
I'm doing it.
You won't let Hebby go.
I hate her. There's one god. So Nemesis has this insane job description, and then there's one bitch who's just like, I hold a cup.
Yeah, she's the cupbearer for the gods. And there are other cupbearers, but she is the goddess of cupbearing.
Oh, jeez.
So Ara was the Titan goddess of breeze and the fresh, cool air of early morning. Speaking of dumb goddesses. But you know the word Ara, and it lingers to this day. So she at least has like that going for her. She has some lineage. She was also a
morning dew
of the breeze, like a refreshing breeze and the fresh, cool air of the early morning.
I do enjoy that though.
Yeah, she's great. Hanging out with Ara this morning, feeling good, having a cup of coffee. She was
thanks to Hebby.
Thanks, Hebby, for this cup of coffee. Can you hold it for me for a moment? It's too hot on my hands. So she was the virgin huntress. She was a virgin huntress who was excessively proud of her maidenhood, who hung out.
Hey guys, let's go.
I feel pretty.
I'm here to the party, still a virgin.
Yeah, ours in the house. Can I have some of that? Oh, I know it. You're a virgin.
I know.
So she hangs out with Artemis. She hunts with her. She's Artemis's friend.
The moon, right?
Artemis,
moon.
goddess of the moon and the hunt, who is a fellow virgin huntress. She
had a bunch of what did they talk about?
So she
too busy fucking.
Without Artemis around, she decided to boast to all of the other female huntresses that her body is better than that of Artemis, and that she is chaster. She is more virginal.
You should see my hymen. It is so intact.
I'm looking. Yeah. It's intact. So when she does this, Apollo gets word of it. And Apollo is Artemis's twin brother. He's a little Lannister.
Nobody talks about my sister's hymen.
Exactly. He gets very mad that her friend was talking shit. And so he sought out Nemesis to avenge his sister.
I fucking hate Apollo.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So he's like
sun god?
Yeah, god of sun and light and music. Nemesis, it is I, Apollo. I'm so angry right now. I could spit. Nemesis?
What? Yeah, what up?
Did I just wake you up? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was like so busy, enacting all this revenge all day.
Yeah.
Exhausting.
Oh my gosh, you'll never believe this. Ara, who's like makes you real refreshed in the morning?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she's
like our deodorant.
She's like
old school deodorant.
She's great. Yeah. But anyway, she's also awful. She was saying that she was more of a virgin than my sister. No one is more of a virgin than Artemis. It's like her thing.
Okay.
So, hey, please enact revenge upon her and like make it awful. Like make it so that everyone will know never ever do this again, please. Thank you.
No sweat.
All right.
Apollo.
Please.
Except you're the sun, so you probably are sweating.
Yeah, it's really hot. So
you must be walking on the sun.
So Nemesis bursts out of her kingdom palace.
Pew.
Everyone has a palace. On her chariot, her winged griffins flying through the air,
Looking cool.
looking badass, swinging her whip of snake heads.
Jeez.
And she comes down to Ara. And she's,
Yeah, I've never even kissed a guy, so like.
it is I, Nemesis, and I'm here to avenge you because of what you said.
What do you mean?
You said shit. And she just like smacks Ara with her whip as hard as she can.
Oh.
She binds her over her like wheel of justice
What?
that like bends her backwards over it, strips her clothes off, wraps snakes all around her, and her wheel sort of famously bends the will of those who will be unbent by by they have too much pride or whatever. It like breaks their spirit sort of immediately as she like bends their back over this and covers her with snakes. And so already this is terrible. And then she says, you know what would make this worse is if I did the worst thing. And this might be something that makes this episode worthy of a trigger warning, because she then says, hey, Dionysus, you around?
Wine god, right?
Yeah, God of wine.
Oh, yeah. What up?
Hey, it's me,
They all
Nemesis.
say what up.
I was told to enact the greatest vengeance upon Ara that I can.
Oh, should I go have sex with her?
Yes, have sex with her while she's bent over this wheel.
Yeah.
And use that extra power that you have and just like have sex with her until she goes mad.
Oh no.
So do that, please, while I hold her down with the snake whip.
Okay.
So yeah, isn't this terrible? This is fucking awful. So she does that, happens to Ara, and when Ara is released from her horrible torture, she is driven mad, and she goes on a murder spree, and she just like kills a whole bunch of men throughout the land. Talk about Nemesis going above and beyond the call here. Like, there were just a whole bunch of innocent mortal men just got slain by a woman who was raped by the god of wine. Like, this is crazy. And then after she's done doing that, she realizes that she's pregnant with sons.
Is she not crazy anymore?
She is crazy still.
Oh.
So she gives birth to the first one and swallows it whole immediately.
All right, she's crazy.
And then the second one, you can imagine this scene, and I hate laughing at this after like how terrible the story is, but like Artemis shows up, her friend who was formerly chaste. She walks in on her now giving birth and watches her swallow her first kid. And then it's like, oh, what are you doing? And then she gives birth to the second one and like takes it from her. And it's like, don't. What? How did this happen? And like that sort of the myth sort of ends there.
Cliffhanger.
It's like, because like what do you do? That's like, it's already heightened so much. I mean, you guys know this as improvisers. We've heightened to the point of no return here.
Yeah, this is a blackout moment.
Yeah.
Pull the lights.
But because Zeus likes to do this, he takes pity on Ara and turns her into a stream, because she can't.
Oh my fuck.
He could just like make her not be crazy, and he could probably like raise all those men back to life that she murdered. But instead, this is how he solves it. He turns her into a river. So the end for her.
This'll be nice.
You might be happy to know that the surviving son was raised by Artemis and then became the attendant of the goddess Demeter, and his name was
Demeter, the one who like asked for this?
No, Demeter's
that was
the one.
different
She had the sacred grove.
Right.
Iacchos became another useless god. He became the god of ritual cries of joy.
Yeehaw!
So
what?
out
Congrats!
of his birthing experience, he becomes the joy of interjections.
Hooray!
Yeah, like hoo-yahs?
Yeah, like woo woo woo. We did it. Or what's the Japanese expression? Yatta. He's all of that.
All right.
Oh my gosh, wasn't that a song? Yatta, yatta, or something? Remember watching that? No.
I
Oh
have,
no.
I have no idea.
He
But
might be the most
Turn off
worthless,
telephone.
actually.
so given my earlier theory, which I was talking about, we have these two witchy goddesses.
Mhm.
One, Hecate to me does represent this sort of early form of Greece, this sort of the more matriarchal side of Greek mythology, versus Nemesis, who I believe enacts vengeance on behalf of classical patriarchal Greek mythology. Like, did this resonate with you guys?
Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
it seem similar? Like, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, also Nemesis seemed not to be like what her actual job description was. She seemed to be like looking out for the trouble too.
Which
Yeah.
is like the villain. It's like
Yeah.
if things are going right, she makes them go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Or
also
worse.
then she should have offered herself up. If she's gonna offer herself up, like, oh, that really fucking sucks. What happened? About the hymen thing. Then she should offer herself up to somebody else, because isn't vengeance like a never-ending cycle?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she should have. Yeah,
She should have avenged Crazy Girl. Well, it really sucks what happened to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like endless business.
Yeah.
well,
She'll always be in business.
I guess that sort of works with the assassin thing, though, because
The pyramid scheme.
you need
Yeah, right.
you need someone to summon you when you are Nemesis, and so the crazy woman who got turned into a stream, the stream's not going to summon her to enact vengeance for her. No one wanted vengeance for Ara. And maybe that's definitely where Artemis drops the ball. There is like her friend, this crazy shit happens to her, and then she's just like sort of complicit of
No tension between Artemis and Apollo. Like,
There's always tension between the two of them. He's always like, in our episode about them, he was the one who kept her from ending up with Orion, who she was in love with.
yeah.
Wow.
Send a scorpion after him. Yeah. So that's that world. So was this a spooky episode? Did we learn about Halloween stuff?
So witchy. So spooky.
I know who I'm not gonna go as for Halloween.
Nemesis?
Actually, God, I would love that costume.
It seems like a pretty badass costume, right?
Bring the wheel of justice along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes our superheroes look tame.
Really does.
Like, oh, Wonder Woman has like what, a whip? Is it made of snakes? No.
You know what? And she might have battled Nemesis in the comics. I mean, she's grappled with so many.
Hecate?
Wonder Woman?
I mean,
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman might have battled Nemesis. I don't know. We'd have to look that up. That's for our different podcast called Superhero Stuff.
Hi, do you have any problems with your fingers, your hands? Do you have 1,000 hands but no legs? I put snakes on them.
Snake replacements.
Hi, my name is Jeff. I went to the doctor because I had a minor tailbone injury, and he replaced my
I put
tailbone.
snakes on them.
He put snakes on my tailbone, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I broke my nail the other day, and
I put a snake on her finger.
yeah.
My name's Jim. I'm a carpenter, and
I put a snake on him.
yeah, I was trying to build a house, and he just put a snake on
I
me.
made a house of snakes. Hey, I accept all insurance.
My name's Jack. I'm a horse trainer, and
I gave him a snake instead of a horse.
yeah, it was really weird. I was trying to lead towards getting a snake whip, but no, he ended up getting me just a snake instead of horse.
I whipped him up a good deal on a snake. Go 188 snake, 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 snake.
All things were paid for by the National Snake Association.
I didn't
That's my snake.
What a twist. The person announcing the Snake Foundation was a snake. So that was our episode. We learned about the witchy women of ancient Greece. Any final thoughts here as we go into saying goodbye to all you fine people?
I feel like Hecate was a little tamer than Nemesis.
Right?
Yeah. I think Hecate got a bad rap.
But it's funny because Nemesis is the one that we use in normal everyday language, not Hecate.
It's true.
Don't you say, "Bye, Hecate, you're my nemesis."
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
every day of your life.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye,
you, Paul.
Nemesis.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to Misunderstood. If you want to
Find Katie Foster.
find Katie Foster on social media, you can
Oh.
find her at
At KATIEFOSTER at Twitter, KATIFOST at Instagram, and I think Snapchat. I'm on a new Snapchat show.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
I think.
shit.
Yeah,
What's
they're
that?
starting to do
I
shows.
didn't know Snapchat had shows. Well, I did, but
Yeah.
I
Plug it.
don't do it.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea when it'll be on, but
What's
What's it called?
Yeah.
Ghost Hunt. I think it's called Ghost
Oh,
Hunt.
that's cute.
Yeah, I
You
like
hunting
that.
ghosts?
Since Snapchat likes ghosts.
Whoa, that's a Halloween spooky show to watch.
Well, if you want to listen to us and you've just found us on the website, we are also on Stitcher, and you can listen to us on CastBox and iTunes. And I don't know, my iPad has this thing that says podcast, like it's on there.
Yeah,
So-
podcast app.
It's on all those things. You can also leave us a 5-star review and tell all of your friends, and it'll help people find us and learn more about all the wackiness and horror atrocities in Greek.
Horror atrocities?
And
There are a lot of those.
I was gonna say horrible, and then I said atrocities, and it became horrortrocity. So I think it's a wombo that works. So
and leave a comment of your favorite Paul word mashup.
God, that'd be the best. I wish we had enough people who followed us to do that.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, in ancient times, people used to go to their local temple and sacrifice a goat and commune with the gods to talk about their feelings. But I'm here with Jake Lloyd, who has decided to do something very innovative on a podcast.
Yeah, thanks. That's a fantastic way to put it. Although it is sort of a sacrifice.
Uh-huh.
I have a show on this fantastic podcast network called Elaborate, a show that you are very familiar with because you are a frequent guest of it.
I am. I'm here too much. I haunt your podcast like a ghost.
Yeah, it's a freeform conversational podcast where I sit down with a loved one, sometimes a stranger, and I just sort of unpack some shit and figure out how to life.
That sounds fantastic. Where can I listen to that?
You can check it out at elaboratepodcast.com. Obviously, the usual Stitcher and iTunes and wherever podcasts are found.
Wow, I look forward to listening to my snarky brand of therapy.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
It's Dragon Wagon.